Hello everybody, Steve Hackney here. Welcome to today's webinar. I've got a real treat for you today. I'm going to share with you the exact formula that's helping to transform literally tens of thousands of businesses in hundreds of different industries across many different countries and literally help them multiply their sales and profits by hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands every single week. And I'm going to share with you how you can use that to instantly multiply your sales and profits without it costing you a single penny. I'm going to give you some simple, proven and easy to apply strategies. And I don't know about you, but it's probably the same. But I used to have this approach where I literally register for a seminar or a webinar or any type of training, and I think, look, if it gives me one thing, just one thing that I can apply to my business that's going to have an effect, then it's worthwhile me attending. And I thought about this a few years back and thought, no, that's the wrong approach. My time's much more valuable than that. If I'm going to attend a seminar or a webinar or any kind of training, I want to get massive value from it. I don't just want one thing, I want several things. And I've kind of pretty much used that approach ever since, not only for myself when I'm attending, but also when I'm running seminars and webinars myself. So my promise to you today really is this. I'm not going to give you one thing. I'm going to give you half a dozen, maybe even 20 things that you can apply to your business right now that's going to have a major impact on your business. Okay, now that's a major promise, but I'm so passionate about that. One of the things that I've done is to give you a free bonus. If you stay right to the end of the webinar, I'm going to give you access to our marketing makeover blueprint. Now, normally that's reserved for our private clients. It's worth £500. It's an amazing document. It literally explains to you how you can improve every single marketing piece you have and turn it into a massive winner. Okay, there's nothing else like this on the planet. It really helps you dissect your marketing and literally transforms it as long as you apply the system within it. So it's well worth staying till the end. The other thing is as you know, I've created a cheat sheet, as I call it, to coincide with the webinar. That will just guide you through the webinar. It will help you take notes. It will help cement things. It will help take those ideas and strategies that I'm giving you and enable you then to apply them more easily in your business. If you haven't downloaded it yet, you can get it from www.thecoreasset.com/DNA-cheat-sheet. Okay, one thing I'd like to say at this point is somebody said to me many moons ago, Steve, be careful who you learn from. And that was such an insightful comment, because what that person was alluding to is, look, if the person that is teaching you stuff isn't a genuine expert, doesn't really know their content that well, then it can be dangerous. You could be applying stuff that actually isn't going to work, or worse still, could have a negative impact on your business. So what I just want to do, for those of you that don't know who I am, I just want to read through a comment from someone that's highly respected, and hopefully that will give you the confidence to know that actually I really do know what I'm talking about, and this is not me just theorizing and giving you stuff that I'm making up. This is genuine hardcore stuff that you can apply to your business, and it's from a guy called Sir Clive Woodward. Now, those of you that aren't into rugby, let me just explain who Sir Clive is. So Sir Clive was a England and British Lion rugby player, but he's actually much more well known now for the fact that he guided the England rugby team to win the 2003 World Cup. He basically took a half-decent England team but transformed them into world beaters. And excuse me. And this is what he said. Winning, it's been at the heart of everything I've done since my early days at school. Whether that's in sport or in business, my entire philosophy has been based on one simple formula. Work hard, lay the right foundation, and model and implement what the best are doing. Do that and you'll outperform the competition. This approach has served the people and teams I've been lucky enough to work with along the way extremely well, not least the England rugby team. So why am I writing this about Steve Hackney? There are two reasons. Firstly, I've known Steve since he played for me back in my England days and have come to know what a successful professional he was then and is now. But the second is the most compelling reason, and that's because everything he does in a business context is about improving performance and winning. And this time it's about your performance, and it's about you winning the marketing game for your team and for your business. For example, so many so-called gurus or experts don't go far enough. They stop short at telling you exactly what you need to do to win in the subject area that they cover. They omit key details and leave you hanging. Steve's different. You see, whether you like it or not, your success in the field of battle comes down to not just what you do, but how you do it. That's the game of success, and Steve has discovered exactly what it takes to grow any small business. He's found the success formula. In my experience, when you combine multiple high-performance tactics, as Steve has done here, that's when you start to see positive changes in whatever you're doing. I would go as far to say he's given you what I would call a success blueprint. Now, hopefully that gives you a fair bit of confidence to know that actually I do really know what I'm talking about, and I've been doing this for a long, long time, which I'll come on to very shortly. And really, as long as I deliver great value today, is it okay for me to share with you what the next step is and how can I help you further? I'm going to do that right at the end of the seminar. Just type in yes into the box. Look, I'm going to promise I'm going to deliver you an amazing webinar, and if you could just give me 10 minutes at the end to explain how you can take that further, that'd be great. So just answer yes if that's okay with you. Okay, fantastic. So what I want to do, just take you through the evolution of where we got to today. And really it all stemmed back to the early 90s. I used to play rugby union, and rugby actually didn't go professional till 1995. I was 27 at the time. And I realised that I probably had 3 or 4 years as a professional. Actually, I had 4 as it turned out. So in 1995, I thought to myself, look, I've got to set something in place so when my career finishes, then I can have a seamless transition. And I set my own business. So my first business I literally set up a few months after rugby went professional. In fact, I set it up in November 1995, just a few months after the whole game went professional. And I was basically, at the time when I was working, before it went professional, I was a sales and marketing manager for a large commercial insurance broker. And I was very successful, and I did a few things right. I then realised, as most of you will recognise as well, when you start running a business and you really get into the nitty gritty and the detail, you actually know a fraction of what you should, and you haven't got a clue how to run a business. But what I did was, because I had so much time on my hands, because we trained once or twice a day, I literally immersed myself in marketing and sales, and I read literally over 1,500 books. I bought a speed reading course, which was amazing, and I literally devoured 1,500 books, and I created files on my computer, and anything that stood out as being really, really good that I could use in my own business and with clients, I literally created files for those. And what I did was I started creating detailed reports on results that I was using, and I'd started to pick up coaching and consulting clients and did the same for them. And that's kind of when I made my transition from rugby into businessman, if you like, and a leading consultant and coach. But what I realized in those early days was that there really wasn't anything for small businesses to use that was an end-to-end system. So literally start here, and then if you apply these steps and keep applying these steps, then you're going to grow your business. Sure, there were people that were offering how to write advertisements, how to, back then, how to write yellow pages, how to produce faxes that get results, all these things that are pretty much out of date now. But nothing was there that was literally an end-to-end system for business owners to use. And that, if you like, was my opportunity. And I created something called the Power Marketing System, which is a toolbox, as it says there, that literally went mental. We'd literally pack 5 big manuals, put them in a box, and we sent them over in the end, we were working with customers in 46 different countries worldwide. So it was a phenomenal success. And really, that was my first taste of helping business owners to create the lifestyle and the income that their skills, expertise, and everything else warranted. I then I met my business partner, Peter Finley, and we set up something called the Franchise Group, which was a very, very successful consultancy organisation. Became the largest group in Europe. And I was using all the strategies, not just in the franchise company, but for all the clients that we got. So our franchise partners, as we'd call them, would work with franchisors to help build their franchise. And obviously a big part of that was how their franchisees would market and grow their business. So they were using a lot of the strategies that we're using there, and we were testing and testing and testing and learning all the time. And then we sold that business and took a few years out. And then really in the last sort of 7 years, we've been working with thousands of businesses to really hone in on what works, what any business can use to build their business quickly and successfully. And we've created something called the core asset, which I'll come on to later. But basically what happened was we are working with thousands and thousands of businesses. We've actually partnered with over 1,500 accountants, and we were working with all their clients in many parts of the world who were going out there using all the strategies. And one thing that was amazing, if you like, that came out of this was an extraordinary discovery, which was basically the formula. And it's the formula what I'm going to take you through today, which will have a profound effect on your business when you use it. And it's really a result of fine-tuning, making sure that the strategies within it are very successful. And what I found was that growing your business it isn't rocket science, but it is a science of sorts. And it's a science that's primary school level science. So, you don't have to be a genius to do this or apply the formula that I'm going to reveal in a second. You just have to understand that actually, as long as you apply it, then your business is going to be highly successful. Now, I've seen and worked with literally thousands and thousands of small business owners, and very, very few, if any, have any resemblance of this formula in their business. And this is it. So the formula is a really simple formula. It has 5 key components, as you can see there. The first component is called improve your existing and new marketing strategies. It's literally the bread and butter, the DNA, if you like, of marketing. It's what makes marketing work. And actually, a large part of today is going to be talking about that, because what it does, it has an effect on the other elements of the formula. And if you can get that right, then your business is just literally going to transform in front of your very eyes over the next few weeks. So I'm going to really focus on how to improve your sales and marketing today. But also, we've got lead generation. That's the L. So every business needs to generate leads. That's the lifeblood of most businesses. You've then got to convert those leads, as many of those leads, into clients, customers, or patients. And then once you've got those clients, customer, or patients, you then want to maximize the value of each of them. Okay, and those are the 4 primary elements of sales and marketing that most people miss. Now, obviously, there are elements of all that in every single business. But what this is all about, and key to it, is, and this is something that most people don't know or recognize, is that as long as you apply multiple strategies across each of those fundamental components, then what you get is a multiplication effect. So you create what we call exponential growth, because they all work in harmony with one another. So if you improve all your lead generation, your conversion, and your maximizing customer value strategies, obviously they're going to have a massive compound effect. If you add more lead generation strategies, you add more conversion strategies, and you add more maximization strategies, obviously you're going to get multiplied results. And that, if you like, is the cornerstone of the formula. And all that is even greater accentuated by the A, which stands for automate. And surprisingly, you can automate, particularly with today's technology, you can automate a lot of these things, certainly across your lead generation, your conversion, and customer maximization. Now, obviously, every business is different. I completely understand that. And certain businesses have more human involvement than others. But even then, you can systemize the elements of what the humans are doing, what the people are doing. And it really is surprising how much you can automate. And if you automate all this stuff, so all these things are working 24/7, then obviously you're going to create what we call accelerated growth. So that's the formula that we've developed over the years. It's literally unbreakable. It doesn't matter what business you're running. It doesn't matter how young or old the business is. It doesn't matter whether you're online or you're a bricks and mortar business. This works. It's unbreakable as long as you apply it. Okay, so like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on how you improve your sales and marketing. That's what this webinar is all about, because it affects all the other areas of the formula, particularly lead generation, conversion, and maximizing customer value. So let's look at these, and I call improving your sales and marketing, what I call them is the things that make marketing work. They are the marketing DNA. I call them the core elements, and as you can see, they're structured here. How I've demonstrated them as the elements in a periodic table, and we've got sales and we've got marketing elements. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take you through each of them. Now, what I would also say is that you might, as I go through these things, say, well, I know about that. Yeah, I've heard of that. Now, what I need you to ask yourself though is, are you genuinely using this in your business? And if you are using it in your business, are you doing it to its maximum ability? In other words, are you getting the best results from each and every one of these? Like I said, this isn't rocket science. So you will have heard of some of these things. I'm not going to introduce anything to you that's going to be absolutely startling. I think you'd be surprised with the results you can achieve when you get these things right. But please don't dismiss them. I promise you, this is the foundation. And it's the foundation that most people have forgotten. In this crazy world of social media and all these bright marketing lights and all these things, people have forgotten that actually to move a business on, you got to sell stuff. Okay? And the bread and butter, if you like, and the foundation of being able to sell successfully comes down to what I call the core elements, the marketing DNA. These are the things that make marketing work. Okay, so get ready. I promise you, you're going to absolutely love this. It really will help you create a much more successful business. And let's start right from number one, which is the target market. And the target market is basically the group or groups of people or businesses that you specifically target who are most likely to want, need, desire, and can afford your product or service. Okay, the normal approach that people take is they try and appeal and target to everybody. And the reason why being specific with who you're targeting is because if you get specific, it means you can actually match your message to your market. You can literally match everything you say to that particular target market. Because if you understand what their needs, desires, wants, concerns are, then what you can do is you can target those specific individuals or businesses and match everything to them. It basically means that instead of marketing to everybody where you'll have to have a general message, which means it's far weaker, plus if you're trying to target everybody, it's going to cost you more to reach the people who are perfect for your business. Whereas if you create the target market, what you're doing is you're laser focusing on the right people, which means you can either spend less or even spend more per target to actually convince them to buy from you. And it becomes so much more successful because your message is targeted to them. What I want to do then is I want to give you a really interesting example that hopefully will demonstrate the importance of target market. Because as I said a few seconds ago, I know for a fact that you will have heard of target market, okay? And maybe you're doing a little bit of it, but the thing is, people say to me often, Steve, what do you think is the most important thing to grow a business? And I'll always say, and always have done, get the target market right and everything else is so much easier. In fact, once you get the target market right, all the other stuff I'm going to share with you today becomes so much more powerful. Okay, so this example is really interesting. This is an experiment that was conducted by the Washington Post over in the States. And it wasn't anything to do with target marketing, but when I saw it, I thought, oh, that's just a brilliant video that I can show to people to explain the difference between really good target marketing and really poor target marketing. And most people take the approach based around this experiment. And this experiment was basically all about putting a guy called Joshua Bell into a subway in Washington. And for those of you that don't know who Joshua Bell is, he's one of the leading violinists in the world, top 5. And he plays the most beautiful music. He's very, very successful. And what they did was they literally got him to play his violin at the entrance to this subway. And they looked at the results that it generated. So I'm just going to play the video, and I want you to just watch it carefully, and you'll see what I mean, and we'll have a brief chat about it straight after. Here we go. Write in the comments box how much you think. Quick. How much do you think he earned for 45 minutes? And roughly how many people do you think stopped to listen? Come on, write it in the box. So over 1,000 people with the target market. 7 people stopped to listen. Just 7. 27 passed and gave money. $32 in change. Not very impressive for a guy who would normally earn probably getting on for £5,000. So what was the problem? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? He's playing, firstly, in a location that isn't necessarily set up to listen to world-class music. But also, it's people that obviously haven't got any affinity, most of them, with beautiful classical music. Now, imagine if people had been invited to a hotel or something, and they had no idea that Joshua Bell was going to be playing. But they were targeted because they had an affinity with classical music. They have been shown to actually spend a lot of money on going to concerts and all this sort of stuff, and maybe even private sittings. You know, they are people that love classical music. And guess then what would happen if Joshua Bell walked into that room? He would command the audience, and people would pay handsomely for that. And hopefully that gives you the profound difference between targeting to everybody, which is kind of what most businesses do, or then honing in on the target market. And we do that by creating what I call the customer avatar, or the avatar profile. And this is so easy to do, I can't believe people don't do it. But basically what you're doing is you're looking at your perfect customer, your perfect client, your perfect patient, and you're breaking down the things that make them tick, basically. You're looking at their needs, wants and desires. You're looking at their frustrations. You're looking at their problems. You're looking at the reasons why and the motivations for buying your product or service. And you write all these down. Okay, and you're looking at the commonalities, basically, between the perfect customer and what your product and service delivers to them. And when you write these things and you look at their demographics and their psychographics, so you look at, for consumers, you're looking at, what type of houses do they live in, how many cars have they got, how many children have they got, if it's relevant. All these sorts of things will play a part in determining the perfect avatar profile. If it's businesses, you're looking at, the location of the businesses, the size of the business, the industry they're in, all these sorts of things. And what you're doing is you're just building this beautiful profile of your perfect customer. And then once you know who that profile, that perfect customer is, you can actually target those people. And today, one of the amazing things about the development of the likes of Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Google AdWords, all these sorts of new media, is that their profiling and their targeting is incredible. So if you've created the perfect customer avatar profile, you can actually use those. Plus, obviously, you can use things, more traditional things like advertising and direct mail, to laser in on these people. And because you can do that, as we've already said, your marketing becomes much more focused. It means you can actually spend less to reach these people. And it means if you can get inside their heads, anything is possible and everything is possible. And I can't underestimate to you how valuable this is. I promise you, the target market is critical. And actually, when you get this right, everything else becomes so much more easier. So to demonstrate this point perfectly, I'm going to play you another video clip. And it's from a film that I love called What Women Want. And for those of you that don't know what that film's about, it basically stars Mel Gibson and Helen Hunt. And it's centered around an ad agency in New York. And Mel Gibson plays a guy called Nick. And Nick is this massively male chauvinistic pig, basically. But the agency has a challenge. They're successful, but actually because they're dominated by these male chauvinists, of which Nick is obviously one of them, they don't have any representation with female brands. And they're about to appoint a creative director. Mel Gibson thinks he's going to get it, but surprisingly to him, they bring in a woman called Helen Hunt, who is basically a top ad exec in another agency, and she's been brought on specifically to help get more advertising revenue from the female brands. And she comes to the meeting and she's already prepared a box full of female products that are looking for advertising representation right now. And she asks all the team to go back, spend the night, and then come back the next day with slogans and maybe ad creatives for those particular products and services. So Mel Gibson reluctantly does that, and he's in his bathroom and he's trying on the lipstick. He's messing around with hair mousse. He's putting on eyeliner, and there's a storm going on outside. And anyway, he starts putting on these tights to try and get a good feel for them, and he slips. And as he slips, he's slipping towards the bath, which is full of water. He knocks the hairdryer, which is still on. And the hairdryer and him fall into the water at the same time, and obviously he gets electrocuted. Anyways, something magical happens, and he wakes up the next day, and all of a sudden he can hear what women think, which is incredible. But it scares the bejeebers out of him, because all he can hear is all these things going on and women talking. And so he's obviously fretting. So what he does, he goes to see his shrink, which is a part played by Bette Midler, who plays it superbly well. And what I'd like you to think about is pretend for a moment that you're Mel Gibson, okay? And pretend for a moment that I'm Bette Midler, okay? And you're coming to me, almost saying to me, look, I have a challenge, and your challenge is actually that you're targeting everyone. And what Bette Midler is doing, or what I'm trying to do, is make you realise actually that this is not a bad thing. This is a great thing, as long as you harness the power of it. So let me just play this clip, and I'm going to stop it halfway through and then just mention a couple of other things. So here we go.
Dr. Perkins.
Yes?
You may not remember me. I'm Nick Marshall. I came here about 10 years ago with my ex-wife, Gigi.
Oh, Christ, not him.
Oh, good. You remember me. I'm sorry to barge in like this, but I don't know who to turn to. I'm desperate. I'm afraid to go to work. I'm afraid of my doorwoman. I'm afraid to get a cup of coffee.
Mr. Marshall, please slow down.
Yes.
Slow down. Let me make sure I completely understand what it is you're saying.
All right. I hear what women think.
Yeah. You know, Mr. Marshall, this kind of imaginary displacement scenario
I'm
really
not
isn't my thing. I do, however, have a very good friend over at University Hospital who specializes in men with male menopause and testosterone depletion. She's fabulous. I think what I'll do is just give her a ring and send you over there. Why did I answer my door? I was so into buying that lamp on eBay.
How much was it going for?
How much was what going for?
The lamp on eBay.
Oh, I see. That's good. Very clever. Dr. Skolnick, please.
All right, you don't believe me. Well, then try another one. Oh, go on, pick a number. Give it a whirl, any number.
Okay. A number between 1 and...
A million, why not?
1 in a million. All right.
644,998, 99, 90. Want to make a decision here?
Oy vey.
Oh, you can say that again.
I didn't say anything.
I know, but that does not mean I didn't hear it.
Okay. Okay. Let's say I do believe you.
Yeah.
That you can hear what women think, even though I'm a grown woman of 51, 47.
Oh, my lips are sealed.
Holy crap!
Oh.
Oh, forgive me.
It's all right.
But this is phenomenal. You can hear inside my head.
Yes.
Why would you want to get rid of such a brilliant gift?
Well, for starters, almost every woman I know thinks I'm an asshole.
That's what I thought when I first met you.
Doc, could you please give me a break here?
Mr. Marshall, you might find this a little unorthodox, but would you mind awfully if I smoked?
No, I understand.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's try to look at the upside of this, shall we? You know, Freud died at age 83 still asking one question. What do women want? Wouldn't it be strange and wonderful if you were the one man on Earth finally able to answer that question? Listen to me, Nick. Something extraordinary and I think miraculous has happened to you. My advice is, you must learn from this. You know, there isn't a single woman that I treat that doesn't wish her man understood her better. If men are from Mars, and women are from Venus, and you speak Venusian, the world can be yours. I don't know how this happened to you or why, but you may just be the luckiest man on Earth. Imagine the possibilities. If you know what women want, you can rule.
Okay, I'm just going to pause it there for a second. So that part, right at the end when he was in Betty Midler's office, where she's telling him that he could use this to his advantage, and then he smiles. That's kind of what I'm hoping you're going to get from this first part of the webinar. It's like me telling you just how effective target marketing is, and you realizing just how you can use it to your advantage to quickly grow your business. And honestly, I can't understate this enough. This is just such a powerful thing. It's why I'm kind of labouring the point. But what happens now is that then, so Nick understands that he can use this to his advantage, and he's going to this coffee shop, and he's going to try and get a date with the girl behind the counter, who's played by Marissa Tomei. And for months and months and months, he's been trying to get a date with her. But obviously, he just goes in hard hitting like a male chauvinist and has no thoughts about her feelings or anything. And he starts off that way, but then you'll notice that all of a sudden he hears what she's thinking. And those are the fears and the concerns that she's got about dating men in general. So what he does is he then tailors his message, if you like, to her. And that's the perfect avatar that I'm talking to you about. And look at the effect that it has on her.
Hubba, hubba, here he comes, looking awfully good today. And I haven't had sex in 4 months. Okay, 6. Oh, why'd I tell him to stop asking me out? I'm an idiot! Idiot! Hey, Nick, how's it going?
Lola, my love. I can't take no for an answer.
About what?
About what? About us.
Just don't hurt me, Nick. I've been hurt too many times.
I know how hard it is to go out with someone new. I mean, there's always that fear of, well, getting hurt. Well, at least that's how I feel inside.
You do, really?
All the time.
Me too, all the time.
So, let's just take it slow and see how it goes.
Slow is good. Slow is really good.
Yeah.
You free tonight?
So what you can see there is the difference it makes. Notice when he suddenly started talking a language and he recognised the feelings, she kind of looked up as if to say, whoa, you really understand me. That's what you can achieve with your marketing, and that's what I want you to achieve with your marketing. It makes that much difference. In fact, let me just show you just a really simple example of how powerful this is. Now let's just say, for argument's sake, you're a startup business and you obviously need an accountant. So you look in your local newspaper, just for example, and you see 2 classified ads. Okay, the first ad reads ABC Chartered Accountants, tax preparation, auditing, bookkeeping, payroll services, help for startups, management accounts, and so on. So they mention sort of a little bit that they help startups. Okay, so that might pique your interest a little bit because you know, hey, they help startups. But then compare that to the second ad. XYZ Chartered Accountants, specialising in helping startups get their businesses running quickly, profitably and effectively. Now that's not a brilliant ad, is it? But look at the difference. I defy you, if you're running a startup business and you're looking for an accountant, not to at least give these people a call. Because what they're saying is that they specialise in working with you. Okay? And that's the key. You know, those ads are completely different in terms of how they will appeal to a startup business owner, and obviously the second one is alluring, and as I said, it'd be very difficult to not call that organisation, and that's the difference. That's the difference it makes. I'd like to think that the difference that you could make is that profound. The likelihood is that you're probably targeting to everybody, but there are pockets of businesses and individuals that you can target, just like the second ad does there, that's going to make a massive difference to you. Okay, let's move on to the second strategy, which is differentiator. Differentiator is really, really important. You may know it as unique selling proposition or something like that. And what it is, it's the thing that sets you apart from the competition to the benefit of your clients, customers, or patients. One of the things that I've recognised is so few small business owners differentiate the business from the competition. They don't give the competition a genuine reason to come and choose their products or services compared to the competition. Even if they've even got a differentiator or something unique that they've already got in their business, what I've found is people don't communicate that and don't bring it to the fore. The thing is, if you can't articulate and communicate what it is you do that is so unique compared to the competition, then obviously your clients, customers or patients haven't got any way of doing that themselves. So the problem with that is that you end up then competing with the competition based on price, because if there's no point of difference, the only thing it's going to come down to is price. So just remember that's such a key thing as to why you have and why you must have a differentiator. Not only does it help you win more business, also it takes you away from the slasher type companies that are squeezing margins, because it moves you to a point where actually you can't be compared. So then price becomes less of an issue. I'm not saying you're going to totally eradicate price, because clearly that isn't going to happen, but it definitely does impact you less in terms of the prices that you charge, because the customer, client or patient can see what it is you do that's so different to everybody else. And the key is once we've identified the target market, as I keep saying, all these other strategies become so much more powerful. So you align it completely to the target market. And then it becomes even more powerful, doesn't it? Because your differentiator is completely focused on your avatar, your profile of your customer, client or patient. And some good examples, 2 well-known examples here. Domino's, for example, was started by 2 brothers, the Monahans, while they were at university. But they were struggling so much because they were trying to compete with all the other pizza companies, and everyone was sort of saying the same thing. Look, come and choose our pizzas because they're the best tasting pizzas. And the problem was Domino's were really struggling. In fact, so much so that Tom's brother had to leave the business. And Tom sat down and said, look, I've got to change things. If I keep trying to compete in terms of the best tasting pizzas, I'm just not going to win. So he thought about his customer avatar, and he thought about his customers, and his customers at the time were students. And he recognised that actually students didn't necessarily want the best tasting pizza, but what they did want is they wanted it hot and they wanted it quick. So what Tom did was he created this differentiator, which was very unique back then. And it was simply red hot pizza delivered to your door in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed. Now write that down, I'll repeat it again. Red hot pizza delivered to your door in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed. Now it's good for you to write that down because actually you can see the essence of what a great differentiator is. Now to his target market, that's perfect. It's completely aligned to them because they want it hot and they want it quick. It doesn't say anything, does it, about the fact that it's an amazingly beautiful tasting pizza. It just focuses on hot and quick. And that's why Domino's is one of the most successful fast food franchises in the world. And then FedEx did exactly the same. Fred Smith, when he started FedEx all those years ago, recognized there was a gap in the market. He'd recognized that the perfect customers excuse me, were customers that wanted their packages delivered the next day. Now, there were a few companies back then that were doing that, but they weren't really, it was kind of an add-on service and it wasn't something that they were guaranteeing, and all their systems and processes really didn't make it easy for them to do next day deliveries. So what Fred did was he looked at that and he created an outstanding differentiator, which was literally, and again, write this down, when it absolutely positively has to be there overnight, FedEx. And he basically guaranteed next day delivery. And again, completely relevant and focused on his customer avatar who wanted next day delivery guaranteed. And that's again why FedEx became such an amazing business, primarily because they differentiated themselves from everybody else. Now, there are a number of ways to differentiate yourself, and as I've said, most of the times I've found that a lot of businesses actually have a differentiator, a uniqueness already in their business. You've just got to communicate that. But if you're struggling, then there's 3 easy ways that I've found that you can do this. As I said, there are many, many more. Well, I've identified at least 10. First thing is problem and solution. Now, we spoke earlier about your customer avatar. You'd look at what their problems are and how you can solve them. Well, if that particular problem is so great and your product or service solves that solution and nobody else is doing it, then obviously that's a powerful differentiator that you should be communicating to your target market. The second one is what I call the magic wand solution, and it's basically like this. If you could wave a magic wand for your customer and give them exactly what they wanted in terms of your product and service, what exactly do you think that they would choose? And again, this is something you can ask your customers, clients or patients. You know, if I could wave a magic wand, what would be the ideal solution? And that sometimes can really bring out something that you can tailor within your business to create that amazing uniqueness. And the third thing is often the biggest benefit that your product or service produces for the client, customer or patient can actually be the uniqueness, obviously, if nobody else is communicating it. So it's really important that you communicate these things. Now, I'll admit, creating a differentiator isn't necessarily one of the easiest things to do, especially if it's not actually within the business. But there also is a fallback option which works every single time, and it's an easy fallback option which I'm going to cover later with you. Okay, let's move on to number 3 then, the headline. Now hold this thought, 99.9% of all marketing pieces don't have a powerful headline. Now we see many hundreds every single month. We offer a critiquing service, and what I will say is that very few marketing pieces such as websites, print ads, sales letters, all these sorts of things, every single type of marketing piece that's used, very rarely, particularly with small businesses, has a powerful headline. And the thing is that the headline is the most important thing. No matter what the marketing piece is, it is the most important thing. It's the thing that grabs the attention of the recipient. So it doesn't matter what media you're using, whether it's online, offline, whether it's radio, TV, whatever it may be, the headline is the absolute key. And write this down. The way to look at it is the headline is the ad for the ad. In other words, if you do not get the headline right, people will just literally, if it's a website, they'll click the back button. virtually within a few seconds. If it's an ad, they won't even bother reading the ad, and so on and so forth. So you've got to get the headline right. And by the way, and again, you should write this down, the name of your business is not a headline. Okay. Now, this may come as a little surprise to some of you, and we're all very proud of our businesses, but quite frankly, your customers, clients, or patients don't give a hoot who you are. All they care about is what you can do for them. That's all that matters. Now, at the moment, you're a small business. You're not a brand. You're not a big brand. You're not a brand that has many assets attached to it. Now, if you're a big brand, then obviously the dynamics change. I'm not saying you would change what I'm suggesting here, but the brand plays a massive part in their value. People trust it. It stands for many things depending on the brand. And obviously that organization has spent millions and millions and millions to get to that point. Well, you don't have that luxury yet. Okay, so whilst brand is still important, and obviously the more stuff you sell, the bigger the brand gets, but at the moment, who you are, the name of your business, is absolutely irrelevant to every single person you're targeting. Okay, so there's no harm in putting the name of the business at the bottom of the website, the logos, all that sort of stuff, or at the bottom of a letter. But the key is the headline must not be the name of your business. That is not going to attract people to you. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an example now of what I mean. And this is just any page out of the Yellow Pages. Okay, now I know the Yellow Pages as a medium is becoming less and less powerful. And we've all seen that the size of the Yellow Pages reduced significantly. So I'm not showing you it because of that. What I'm showing you it for is because it's great to give you an example, because I've got loads of ads on the same page, excuse me, and you can see what I'm talking about in terms of how poor people are with headlines. Now, just look at those. There's 6 headlines that I've highlighted. The first one on the right there is Kingston Appliances. Okay, it's the name of the business. The next one, Repair Specialist. Well, if you look carefully, we're in the cookers, stoves, and ovens repairs and spares section. Okay, so you're stating the obvious. The third thing is electric oven and cookers repairs and sales, exactly the same as the last one. As is the next one, we repair or replace. The next one on the left is CT Appliance Repairs, the name of the business. And then the final one, again, the name of the business, which is AH Appliance Services. They're terrible. Think about it. If you were looking to get your oven fixed or replaced, not one of those headlines would grab you and say, yeah, I've got to ring those people. And that's how virtually everybody does it. They're all awful on a scale of 0 to 100. They're like 0 or 1 or 2. Okay? The thing is, your headline is the thing that grabs attention. Okay, this has been proven and proven and proven and proven. Yet so few business owners do it. This is why I said right at the start, I'm going to give you stuff today. Maybe some of it you've heard of, maybe some of it you're using, but I can guarantee you are not using these to the best of their ability. And the headline is one of those things. Now, the good news is there are proven headline types. Okay, now I've identified at least 50, but I'm going to give you one that works every single time. And all you have to do is pretty much put the 2 words in front of your headlines, and it's how to. Again, it's the fallback position that I often use if I'm struggling to create a great headline, and how to works all the time. So let me show you what I mean by that. Let's take that example there, which I showed you on the previous page with the Yellow Pages, and their existing headline is repair or replace. Okay, that isn't going to stop anybody in their tracks. It isn't going to make someone think, oh, I've got to pick up the phone and call CPM Electrics. But if we add how to, and we add a little bit more of the stuff that you're learning today, look at the difference that it makes. And again, this can be improved, but it's just to give you an idea of what can be achieved when you understand that the power of all of your marketing depends on the quality of your headline. So we change repair or replace to how to repair or replace your oven in 24 hours or less guaranteed. Now, as I said, I could improve that. But I tell you what, you look at that compared to all the other ads on that page. In fact, let's go back. Let's go back quickly. You imagine that on that page. I defy someone that's looking in that category that doesn't ring that particular company with a headline like that. Okay, let's go back. That's the power of a headline. It grabs attention. Now, if I didn't change the rest of the ad at all, I guarantee it's still going to work because it's the headline that grabs attention. And in that, there's a, it's that headline I've created there. There's a promise, okay? Because we're going to say we're going to repair it or replace it within 24 hours, and we're going to guarantee that. That's the power of headlines. And if all you did when you finish this webinar is you change all your headlines on every single marketing piece you've got to powerful headlines, and you just put the words how to in front of it, it's going to make a big difference. You don't have to be an amazing copywriter to do this stuff. You've just got to improve what you're doing at the moment, and that's not difficult. Now, as I said, I've kind of created 48, 50 different headline templates, and they're as easy to use as the how-to template, okay? So this isn't difficult when you know how. Okay, before we move on to irresistible offers, let's just take a few questions and let's have a quick look. Yeah, let's do this one from John. Excuse me. He says, I run a restaurant. Will the formula work for me? Well, as I said earlier, the formula works for any business. If you think about a restaurant, you still need to improve your sales and marketing, John. You need to generate interest in the restaurant, which is your leads. You then need to pick up the phone. You then need people to pick up the phone, book online or walk through the doors and book a table. And that's conversion. Excuse me. Then when people dine, you need to maximize how much they spend the first time and then work hard to get them to come back as often as possible. And that's maximizing customer value. And then to ramp it all up, you need to automate as many of these elements as you can. So yes, John, the formula will work for you and for everyone else on the webinar, no matter what business you're running. Right, let's do another. Yeah, this is a good question. It's from Hussein. He says, so Steve, what you're saying is with all our sales and marketing is it'll improve if we just add the core elements to them, like headlines. Well, I know this may sound really simplistic to many of you, but yeah, that's exactly what happens. I can hazard a guess that almost all of you on the webinar have never really been aware of what makes marketing work. I mean, no books really tell you, no courses tell you, and I'm one of the few who's figured it out for small businesses. And you'll hear me say this a few times today, that it's just not rocket science. The thing is, you don't know what you don't know. I mean, after today, you'll be armed with all the tools to improve all your sales and marketing, and that'll just result in significant increases in sales and profit. So I was saying, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. You've just got to add these things, the core elements, the marketing DNA, and you'll all get results. And let's do one more. Yeah, this one here, this is from Julie. She asks, can I have more than one target market? And that's actually a really good question. And I didn't really cover this, but yeah, you can. And most of you will have more than one target market. The key is to create your customer avatar and your profile for each individual target market, and then tailor the rest of your core elements to them as well. So your differentiator, your headline, and all the other things I'm going to come on to need to be really focused on them. And then what you do is you create your marketing completely tailored to each of them, and it obviously does take more time, but I promise you it's well worth it. Again, I can't stress enough how much difference this will make to you when you start focusing on target markets rather than trying to reach everyone. Okay, let's move on. Right, the number 4 then is irresistible offers. And an irresistible offer is basically the thing that you offer your target market, or even clients, customers, or patients, the thing that makes them want to buy from you or respond to you. And you make it absolutely almost impossible for them to resist you. Now, again, I rarely see offers in marketing. People, for example, let's say people send a brochure out and they put a covering letter and they say, hey John, please find enclosed this year's company brochure with all our products and services in. If you have any questions, please contact us. It's rubbish. There's no offer in there to get people to pick up the phone and either order or to arrange a meeting, whatever it may be. And I see this all the time. People just think that by offering their products and services as they are, they're going to get sales. And of course you do. But we're talking about optimizing sales. We're talking about generating an avalanche of sales and ramping up your marketing. And what you need to do is every single marketing piece you produce has to have an offer. That's it. All these core elements are compulsory if you want amazing results. So there are a couple of types of offers. The first is what I call soft irresistible offers, and I term these as a group of offers, if you like, where no personal interaction or sale has to occur. Now remember, they have to be tailored to the target market. Okay, so you can have free special reports. If you've been studying marketing for some time, you'll know that free special reports are really powerful. They work extremely well. Free brochures or free newsletters, free information packs or information kits, free coupons, free ebook or free book where you pay for just for the packaging and postage, free DVDs, audios, video training, that sort of stuff. These things are very, very powerful. Now remember, they have to be tailored to the target market, and that's where the irresistible nature of them comes to play. And these are known as what we call lead magnets because they're easy to, if you get them right, they're easy to target to the target market, and they really do get people magnetized to you because the offers are so irresistible. And we use something called the law of reciprocity. And basically what that means is that when you give something to somebody, they feel compelled to give something back. And if you think about it, if you're giving something of value that's free to someone, they're much more likely to reciprocate, which basically means they'll buy from you. And again, this is a law that's been tested and proven. It's kind of existed ever since humans were created, that it's very, very difficult for people to receive something that's generous and then not want to feel the need to reply to that and give back. We have other types of offers, which I would call hard irresistible offers, where a personal interaction or sale has to occur. So things like free trials, free no obligation appointment. You know, if you have to meet with your prospects, whether that's face-to-face or online with Skype or GoTo meetings or whatever, then you still need to make that no obligation appointment irresistible. Just saying it's a free no obligation appointment isn't going to work. Discounts, free consultations, free surveys, and loss leader offers come under this category as well. I just want to talk a little bit about loss leaders, because loss leaders by their nature are obviously they're called loss leaders because the business kind of makes a loss on the first sale, okay, even if that's just a small loss. So they don't make money in the first sale, but they have systems and procedures and a sales process to ensure that people then keep buying from them, so they get into profit very, very quickly. The key is if they can create something that's irresistible, and loss leaders by their nature are irresistible, then more people are going to buy. Now, one of the most famous was the book club, and that was created by a guy called Maxwell Sackheim back in the 50s. And he's an example of what that book offer was, and you've probably seen this yourselves. But this is a really good example, an example that I found a few months back, and it basically says 3 books for £3 and absolutely positively no commitment. Notice absolutely positively is kind of swiped from the FedEx differentiator. That's what I'm talking about, an irresistible offer that is probably a loss leader. So 3 books for £3, excuse me. Obviously that organisation isn't making money on that, but what they're doing is they're using that, they're targeting it to people who enjoy books, enjoy reading books, and that's irresistible. And then their follow-up processes just ensure then that they know that people are going to buy from them more and more frequently, which gets them into profit as soon as. The key is it's such an irresistible offer because it's targeted to people who enjoy reading books. And this is another great example of this. My children, when they were younger, so this is a few years old, when they were younger, they went to prep school over here in England, and we got this letter from the school, and it was a physical letter, and I've not changed any of the wording at all. This is an exact reprint of it and what it said. And it says, change of book club. Baker Books have offered us a special introductory offer of free books to the value of the summer order from their pupil book club catalogues. In other words, if the value of the order is £600, we will receive £600 worth of free books for school. This is too good an offer to refuse, and so we will be changing to the Baker Book Club. I would be grateful for your support. Now, those of you who've got children that have been through primary school and prep school will know that something that's it's a multi multi-million-pound business is for basically book clubs to come into the school. So the company brings the books in, the kids then buy the books, and then the book company gives a percentage, say 10% back to the school, which is great. Now, the school felt compelled to write to us to tell them that they were changing book clubs, and I actually did a little bit of research behind it, and apparently the incumbent book club had been there for 20 years. 20 years. And then this one offer was so magnetic, so irresistible, the school changed book clubs to the Baker Book Club. And the key is, if you can get people to say this is too good an offer to refuse, just like it does there in the second paragraph, then you've created an irresistible offer. Okay? And one of the most famous ones that I like always referring to, because as you've probably guessed, I enjoy film. Those of you that have seen The Godfather, there's an absolute classic scene in The Godfather, and it's the scene just before that is when the Godfather's nephew, Johnny Fontaine, wanted to get into acting, and he'd been for an audition for a big Hollywood film with one of the Hollywood directors, and he didn't get the part. And he's at a family gathering, and he's speaking to the Godfather, and he's asking him how his acting's going. He said, "Well, not very well. I had this interview last week, didn't get it." And the Godfather turns around and says, "Don't worry, Johnny, I'll sort it." And he said, "Well, you can't. I've not got the part." He said, "Don't you worry, I'll sort it." He said, "How are you going to sort it, Godfather?" He said, "Don't worry, I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse." And then the next scene cuts to the film director in bed, and he wakes up and there's a horse's head, literally with blood all pouring out of it, right next to him. Guess who got the part? Obviously, I don't want you to go to those extremes, but it's a good example of what we mean by irresistible offers. All right, so number 5 then is features and benefits. A guy called Elmer Wheeler back in the 60s said, "Sell the sizzle, not the steak," and it's probably a phrase you've heard of before, and he's so right. So what he's meaning by that is the sizzle is the benefit. Okay, now you've all heard of features and benefits. I've absolutely no doubt at all that every single person on this call has heard of features and benefits, but very few people use them. They use the features, but they don't use the benefits. And the benefits are the emotional triggers. These are the things that get people to buy. Whereas features, if you like, is the steak. They're the logical triggers. Those are the things that people justify their purchases with. So irrespective of the size of the sale, it's the benefits that get people to buy, and then we back that up with the features. Does that make sense? But what we see is with most marketing is that people think they're communicating the benefits, but actually they're communicating the features. And I don't necessarily subscribe to what a lot of other people say, who say, look, it's just benefits, benefits, benefits. I actually believe, and we've tested this, that actually you need both. You need the feature and the benefit, because of the reason why I'm stating there is because, we buy an emotion, then we justify with logic. So if we've got space, then we want to put the features in as well. And I'm just going to do a very simple example with you. And this is for just the 2 features and benefits of a hole punch. A normal desk hole punch that punches holes into your paper. So the feature is it's made of hardened steel. Now, a lot of people think that's the benefit, but it's not, is it? That's the feature, because the benefit is that it'll last forever and you'll never have to buy another one as long as you live. Do you see the difference? All of a sudden, you've taken something that's quite mundane to something that's quite powerful. And then the second feature is the punch has a plastic guide for your paper. Okay. Again, most people would think that's the feature, but no, it's the would think that's the benefit, not the feature. But the benefit is simply adjust the sturdy guide to the size of paper you want to punch. You get perfect results every time. And again, do you see the difference in the two? And that's the power of communicating benefits as well as your features. And like I said, if you go through all your marketing, I bet you can see that you're actually communicating features rather than benefits. All right, we're motoring on now. Number 6 is guarantees, one of my favorites. A guarantee then, you all know what a guarantee is, but a guarantee is a way that you can literally promise the customer that you'll deliver exactly what you say you're going to deliver on. And like many of these things, there are what I call success formulas that make up these things. And the success formula, if you like, for a guarantee is this, and I would write this down. It's basically you need to promise the result. So promise the result of your product or service. So promise the result plus penalize the business if you do not deliver on that. And that equals a perfect guarantee. Let me just show you how that works so you can understand it. Now, guarantees work at the point of purchase. So they're what I call a conversion device as well. And the reason why they work so well is obviously the benefits of your product or service are only gained once a customer buys from you. Agreed? Now, the reason why people don't buy, and the reason why you obviously don't have a 100% conversion rate, and obviously no business has a 100% conversion rate, is because there are things that get in the way that we call them barriers and sales barriers. And they're things, they're concerns, they're worries, they're frustrations. It's one of the reasons why doing your customer avatar profile is so important, because you're going to identify what these concerns, risks, and all these things are because you know who the avatar is. And it could be, what happens if you don't deliver on your promises? How do I know you're as skilled as you say you are? What if you don't look after me as a customer? And what if your product or service doesn't achieve the result I'm paying for? All these things are concerns, and often what happens is because the business doesn't adequately overcome them, what happens is you get less and less sales. Okay. Now, obviously, it doesn't mean you get no sales, but it means you get fewer sales than you could if you added a guarantee, because a guarantee will literally reduce or completely eliminate those barriers to sale, which means you get more sales. And that, if you like, is the logic behind it. Okay, it's a very, 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 very powerful sales tool, and one of the most powerful core elements in your armory. And here's a great example. And this is from a pest control company in North America called BBBK. And this is their guarantee. I'm just going to read it. You don't owe 1 penny until all the pests on your premises have been eradicated. If you are ever dissatisfied with BBK's services, you will receive a refund for up to 12 months of the company's services, plus fees for another exterminator of your choice for the next year. Now, that's pretty impressive, isn't it? But they go further. If a guest spots a pest on your premises, BBBK will pay for a guest's meal or room, send a letter of apology, and pay for a future meal or stay. And if your facility is closed down due to the presence of roaches and rodents, BBBK will pay any fines as well as all lost profits plus $5,000. Wow. Now, there's a couple of things I want to talk to you about here. Now, pretend you're a restaurateur or a hotelier, okay, and you've got a problem with pests or rodents, and you see that guarantee from a pest control company. Now, you've never even worked with them before, but psychologically, the fact that they offer the guarantee, what does it say to you? You've never worked with them before, but doesn't it say to you, Jesus, these people must be so good at what they do, otherwise they'd be idiots to offer this guarantee. So what it does also psychologically, it tells people that you believe in what you do, you completely stand behind what you do. And that in itself is really, really powerful. Now, the other thing is obviously something like this is quite sensational. And I'm going to come on to how we deal with sensational natures of offers and guarantees, because it is one of the core elements. But you see the power of that. So what they're doing is their promise is the fact that all the pests will be eradicated, and then they penalise the business with all the other elements of it. Okay. Now, obviously, you only guarantee what you control. Okay, so those of you who are thinking, oh my God, this is so risky. Do you think BBBK control pretty much all of that process? Well, of course they do. So you don't guarantee anything that you can't control. And if it's something that you feel you should gain control of, then obviously you just need to work on that and change it within the business so you then can offer a guarantee. Actually, sorry, let me go back, because the last thing I want to say here is, remember when we spoke about differentiate and I said, oh, there's one fallback thing that you've got that you can use and it'll work for any business, and it's the guarantee. So if you put a really powerful guarantee in place that isn't matched by anybody else in the market, and you'll find most of your competition don't offer really good guarantees, if any. If you offer an amazing guarantee like this becomes a differentiator. Do you understand that? So let's say you have a differentiator and you add a guarantee as well, in effect you're creating two differentiators. But as I said, if you can't figure out a really good differentiator for you, this is your fallback option, and it works so well. Right, reasons why then. Okay, so I alluded to this a few minutes ago. We use reasons why because if we have a sensational offer or a sensational guarantee, and as long as you're applying the core elements to your marketing, you definitely are going to have an irresistible offer and a guarantee. We need to give reasons why because it makes people believe what you're saying. Because if you look back to that BBBK guarantee, it's like, well, that's just too good to be true. And we want people not to think that's too good to be true. Or if they're starting to think that, we quickly allay their fears, and we do that using reasons why. And here's a simple example. This was for an estate agent or a realtor who was very good at selling houses. Unlike most realtors, they had an amazing system for selling houses. And I said to them, I said, well, look, if and they said, look, we sell most of our houses within 12 weeks, and we sell them for the price that the vendor wants. I said, well, look, we got to guarantee that. So this is what we did. We said, look, if we don't sell your house within 12 weeks, we'll give you £500. Now that's pretty sensational. That no other estate agent or realtor is offering anything like that as a guarantee. In fact, most of them don't offer any guarantee whatsoever. But because it's sensational, we need to explain why we offer that. And here's why. So why would we do this? Well, it's quite simple, really. Last year we sold 1,817 houses, more than any other estate agent in Leicestershire. We're very good at it and read out testimonials. But since you've never used us before to sell your home, we wanted to give you something that would put your mind at rest and reassure you that we can over-deliver on our promises. That's why we offer this fantastic guarantee. Now you can take a quick screenshot, and you can use that approach for your business. It's as simple as saying, why do we offer this? And just tell them, be honest, and say, we do it because we completely stand behind what we do. It works, blah, blah, blah. Okay, just be honest and truthful, and then people will believe you. And then you've got an amazing, powerful guarantee and offer that people will believe and take you up on. Okay, let's just quickly pause there. Let's do a few questions. Let's have a look. I spotted a really good one earlier. Yeah, here it is. It's from Jackie. She says, do I have to have an irresistible offer on all my marketing? And the simple answer is yes. Just to reinforce the point, the core elements need to be in every piece of marketing you produce. Okay, I've said that more than once already. They're compulsory. Now, with your irresistible offer, it depends on where you are in the sales cycle. So, for example, if you're looking to generate leads, then your irresistible offer is likely to be a lead magnet, like a special report. It's irresistible because you tailor it to your customer avatar. And I'll say that again, no matter what industry you're in, lead magnets work like crazy. Then, once you've generated the lead and you're looking to convert them into a client, customer, or patient, you then want to create an irresistible offer that they can't refuse. And that doesn't mean discounting. Give them more value, more bonuses, pack the value high, and more people will convert. So in a way, what you're doing is you're changing the offer depending on where everybody is in the sales cycle. And then once they're a client, customer, or patient, you should just be looking to create similar offers to them to make sure they keep buying. Hopefully that makes sense to you all. Okay, let's do this one. It's from Paul. He says, Steve, offering a guarantee scares me. What guarantees have you got that I won't be taken for a ride? Well, I like the pun, Paul. Look, as I said earlier, you only guarantee what you control. So don't ever guarantee anything that isn't under your control. As I said, if you think that element of the business would be an amazing way to guarantee your product or service delivery, then obviously you need to change it so you can guarantee it. And what you don't want, obviously, is to guarantee something that you can't deliver on, 90% of the time. It doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as you can deliver on it 90% of the time, then it'll work. And I'll be brutally honest, in this age of huge competition and the ease in which people can price compare, you have to strengthen your proposition so it's so much better than the competition, and you move yourself away from price comparison. And offering a guarantee is a great way to do this. Now, some people may take you up on the guarantee, okay? But the increase in sales will far outweigh those losses. You've just got to be brave. If you're good at what you do, guarantee the result, and you'll win many, many, many more clients, customers, or patients. Okay, let's move on then to number 8, which is social proof. Again, this is missing in most marketing that we see, but it's becoming much more important, and I'll explain why in a second. It's always been important, but because of the advent of the internet and various things that are happening, certainly over the last 3 or 4 years, you'll see why it's becoming even more important. So social proof. Well, social proof is a term used to describe the actions of people, and it's basically, there are many, many ways to interpret this, but the way to think of this is that people are just followers. We like to follow people. So if we know someone's had a product or service before us, and they're compelled to tell us how amazing it was, then we're much more likely to buy that product or service. Okay, and social proof really is all about third-party people recommending you and reinforcing what a great business you are. Because if you think about it, if you tell people how amazing you are, most people won't believe you, because let's be honest, we're all skeptics. In fact, we're getting worse as skeptics. So whatever you say is going to be taken with a pinch of salt. But what other people say about you is much more believable. Now, there are certain skeptics out there that won't believe anything you say. But obviously, we know that if third-party people are saying how good you are, then it's more powerful. And the reason I said it's becoming even more important right now is because obviously we've got the growth of sites like TripAdvisor and other sites like that, who obviously customers can put on their comments about your business. And I'm going to talk, maybe if we've got time, more about that later. Anyway, so social proof are what I would class as credibility builders. And you've got credibility builders such as testimonials, so customer testimonials. You've got case studies. You've got membership of associations. Okay, all these things help to prove to people you're good at what you do. You've got industry awards. If you've got any industry awards, communicate those. Think about it. If you put all these things into your marketing, you make it more believable. You make people realize that you can deliver on your results, and then if you back it up with guarantees and everything else like that, you're just going to be so irresistible to people. But again, it's something that so few people use in their own marketing. Why do you think testimonials are so important? Well, they're important because they just reinforce to the potential customer that you can do what you say you can do. And if other people are saying how wonderful you are, well, it must work. You must be good at what you do. How can you get them? Well, it's easier than you can think, than you may think. Obviously, you can get them just by asking customers. You can get them by writing to customers. In fact, I've developed something over the years that I've called the testimonials by the dozen letter. And if you're quick, you can take a quick screenshot of this. You can get them for any type of business. I'm going to show you the letter in a minute. Now, let me give you, in fact, here's the letter now. I'm just going to read this through. I have a favour to ask of you. I'm in the process of putting together a list of testimonials, a collection of comments about our services from satisfied clients like yourself. Would you take a few minutes to give me your opinion of our services? No need to dictate a letter. Just jot your comments on the back of this letter, sign it, and then return to us in the envelope provided. I look forward to learning what you like about our services, but I also welcome any suggestions or criticisms. Many thanks. Now, that's obviously done as a letter. And by the way, done as a letter is so much more powerful than an email. You can tailor this and do it as an email, and it still works, but nowhere near as well as a letter. Okay. Now, what will happen when you send this out, you'll get a ton of testimonials back. And when I say it can be done for any type of business, let me just give you a quick example of what I mean by that. I was working with a large firm of lawyers, ambulance chasers, so personal injury lawyers, and they had literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients, and they didn't have one testimonial. Okay, so I said, look, we've got to get testimonials, because at the moment everything you're saying is just how wonderful you are, and people aren't just going to believe that. And they were like, Steve, yeah, but in our industry, people are very secretive. People don't want to know that that they've had a claim and certainly don't want to tell people how much they've gained. I said, look, you just got to trust me, just like I'm asking you guys to do. So they sent the letter out reluctantly, and they got hundreds back. Okay, and I'm just going to give you 2 examples of what came back. Okay, and these are carbon copies. This is the handwriting that the letters were returned. Remember, it says turn it over and handwrite your message. And let me read the first one. Now, it's an unfortunate name for one of their lawyers to be called Mrs. Slow, but anyway, that was her name. You can't make this up, can you? So Mrs. Slow was very understanding and helpful. She always made time to talk to me and return my many calls. Nothing was too much trouble. The home visits were especially helpful, and she worked hard to get the best results for us. Now, there's no mention there of how much the claim was, but look at the benefits. They're stacked. I mean, you couldn't buy that. You couldn't even make it up. It's beautiful. Now imagine seeing a testimonial like that. You're concerned, you're worried about appointing a lawyer, and you see that. Well, that's going to make you much more likely to use them, and it's going to give you a lot more confidence and put your mind at rest. Now let's look at this second one. She tried remarkably hard to increase my claim without my request or pressure, and managed to convince the insurers to pay an extra £2,600 on top of my £4,000 claim. Again, that is just gold dust. Okay? The difference between having those just 2 testimonials and nothing, you can't quantify it. Okay. Number 9 then is call to action. Why do you think the call to action is important? Well, let me tell you. The call to action is important because people are silently begging to be led. Now, again, this is something that's missing from most marketing, because we assume that people assume that they need to take the next step, the next action that we're alluding to. But the reality is, and we know this through tests, is that that doesn't happen. In fact, the difference between having a quality call to action and not can increase results literally by 50% or more. Okay, so just putting the web address or just putting your phone number isn't a call to action. You have to tell people what to do. And the beauty of call to action, just like reasons why, is you just tell them what you want them to do. And you literally just spell out, to take advantage of this offer, this is what you need to do. Okay? That's it. But you tell them at the end of your website or your letter or your ad, you tell them what they need to do. Now, what should you include? And again, there's a success formula for a great call to action, but the key things are you must try and create immediacy. So you can use things like, this offer closes in 7 days. You can say there's limited supply. These sorts of things help to create immediacy. You should summarize the offer and tell them what to do in simple terms. And here's just a quick example. So to receive your half-price widget, simply phone us at 0800 123 456 or complete the enclosed priority widget half-price order form. As soon as we hear from you, we'll rush your widget to you within 48 hours. But remember, to qualify for this fantastic offer, you need to reply before July the 18th. Thank you. Okay, so it's not an amazingly scripted call to action, but you get the idea. Okay, it's got everything in there that you need, and it will get more and more people to respond. So that's the 9 core elements, the marketing DNA, the things that make marketing work. Just type the word yes into the comments box if you believe they're going to make a massive difference to your business. Okay, great. However, even though I'm sure that most of you are excited to take the marketing DNA back to your business and apply it, you can see that it's only 1/5 of the formula. And in my experience, again, by working with thousands of small businesses, you have 2 big problems when it comes to applying the formula. The first thing is you obviously need to become an expert or even a master at doing this stuff. It's taken me 20 years to get to the point where I'm at now. And I'm sure it's no different to you in your field of expertise. But obviously, because you're running your business, because you're immersed in your business, and rightly so, you just don't have the time to do this and learn this. So even though I've given you a really good blueprint to get things started, when you go back to your business, you're going to find that it's not as easy as obviously I've made it out to be. So you've got to spend the time to learn how to put these things in place. And then because of that, you've also got to test stuff. You've got to spend money. And frankly, most small businesses don't have the time or the money and, of course, the expertise to be able to apply this stuff. So that's your first real challenge. And that's why I created the Core Asset. And this is our online resource that includes everything I've talked about today, plus all the elements of the formula, which I'm going to come on to shortly. And as you can see, the Core Asset includes all 5 elements of the formula, and everything is done for you. This is the knowledge that I've gained over the last 20 years. I've actually put it all into the Core Asset, and obviously it's regularly updated and continues to be updated. But what it does is it means that you don't have to create anything on the fly. You don't have to become a master marketeer or salesperson. You've got it all on a plate waiting for you there right now to apply to your business. It saves you a massive amount of time, it saves you a massive amount of money, and it gives you the expertise that you need to be able to create a very successful business and to be able to put your growth on autopilot. Literally, it's a life's work all into this one core resource, and you'll never need anything else ever again to help you grow your business. It obviously includes the 9 core elements, the marketing DNA, and all the simple step-by-steps and all the examples. And I'll explain shortly how we make it so easy for you to apply it. You've then got 14 lead generation strategies. And these are offline and online tactics and strategies. And obviously, these are the things that small businesses are using right now that are working for every type of small business you can think of. So all we include in the strategies within each element of the formula are the things that are working right now. You've got online strategies like LinkedIn advertising, Facebook advertising, and Google AdWords. And you've got things like email marketing. Offline, you've got things like direct response advertising, you've got direct mail, and all these powerful things. We know with absolute surety when you apply the right success formula to each one, you're going to get success. And then we make it easy for you to create powerful tactics and strategies with what we call the playbooks. And the playbooks are amazing documents which take you through the process of applying each individual strategy or tactic. The playbook includes basically an overview video which explains why that particular tactic or strategy is so valuable to you. It gives you the success formula for that particular tactic or strategy, and then it tells you exactly how to apply the success formula with detailed step-by-step instructions. And you get proven examples, and the fill-in-the-blank templates make it even easier for you to get results. They really do make growing your business so much easier. And I promise you, no matter how many programs you may have been on before or how many products like this you've bought, I promise you, you've never seen anything as detailed as this that makes it so much easier for you to apply and get really good results right out of the gate. Next, we've got 13 different conversion strategies that you can apply to your business. That includes things like guarantees, of course, which we've spoken about. We've got something called sales barrier demolition, which you'll absolutely love, and it will transform your conversions. We talk about how to create the right price point and how to create amazing value, so it makes it virtually impossible for people to say no to you, and all these other things that are going to help with conversions. And then we've got 11 maximizing customer value strategies. Now, as I said earlier, this is the area that most small businesses neglect because they're so eager to get new customers, clients, or patients on board. But I promise you, once you apply even just a few of these strategies within this element, it's going to transform how much money you make from existing clients, customers, or patients. And you've got things like upsell and cross-sell. We have a customer contact strategy, which you'll absolutely love. You've got something called moments of truth and referral systems. In fact, there are 18 different referral systems that you can literally plug your business into. Choose which one you're going to use. And again, it's there right for you, waiting for you. And finally, we've got the 3 elements of automation. So how do you automate your lead generation system, how to automate your conversion system, and how to automate your maximizing customer value system? Now, clearly, many of you will have employees as part of the business, and you'll have elements where you need to have meetings or whatever it may be with prospective clients, customers, or patients as part of your sales process. So you can't fully automate absolutely everything. But what we've learned, and especially with the development of some amazing software tools, inexpensive software tools, is you can actually automate something like 75 to 90% of your entire business building system. And that just transforms everything. It means that your results are consistent. It means that your business is growing 24/7. And it means that you rely less and less and less on the staff and all the mistakes and hassles that brings. And it really does bring the whole formula together, as I discussed really early on. And to make things even easier, we've actually created 4 implementation plans that cover 99.9% of industries. So whether you sell products predominantly or services, whether you run a retail store that's online or offline, or if you have a restaurant, you have an implementation plan that guides you through the whole process, making it even easier than you ever thought it could be. And I'm showing you the first 6 months here, but they actually cover the first 12 months. You literally go into it, start at month 1, and then you tick off each element as you implement it. And as you click on the various elements, it takes you straight to the playbooks, the videos, and everything else which I mentioned earlier. And it just makes growing your business so much more enjoyable and so much easier. And even though we've given you a timeline here, obviously you're not restricted to that. You can move as quickly or as slowly as your circumstances dictate. So the core asset online resources take care of problem 1. It gives you all the expertise you'll ever need. It significantly reduces the time to apply and implement each tactic or strategy. It saves you bundles of money because you don't have to find out what works and what doesn't. And most importantly, it ensures everything you implement is successful. Now, the second challenge you have is the fact that you don't have a support structure around you. And no matter how many people you have in your business, it's difficult to talk to them about growing the business and about the challenges you face. And actually, having a support structure around you really is one of the hidden success keys that successful entrepreneurs have. If you look at the likes of Richard Branson, for example, he's often documented and mentioned the fact that having people around him outside the business makes such a massive difference. And look at the likes of Roger Federer. He's arguably the greatest tennis player to have ever lived. And you know, he has a team of about 12 people around him to help him become an amazing tennis player. Now, he's the best tennis player in the world, yet he has a team around him to help him get better. Now, none of that team are anywhere near as good as him at playing tennis. However, he knows that he needs that team around him in their areas of expertise to help him become the amazing tennis player he was and still is. And what that really boils down to is having a coach or a mentor to support you. And Peter and I have our own mentors as well. And it's such an important and valuable part of growing your business because it just helps you turn to someone and they help you and guide you through it. And if you think about it, business coaches are, as I said, very, very important to growing any type of business. The challenge we've got is, if you think about it, in the UK, there are 96% of businesses who are small businesses. And it's pretty much the same percentage no matter where you are across the world. So whether you're in Australia, Canada, the US, pretty much 90 to 95% of the business market is made up of small businesses. Yet the challenge we have is that the larger coaching and consulting businesses basically price small businesses out of the market. They've set the coaching fees and consulting fees way, way, way higher than small businesses can afford. I mean, you're looking at anything from £5,000 to £10,000 a month just for a coach or a consultant to work with you. And obviously, those larger consulting and coaching businesses know that most small businesses just can't afford that. So they target the 4 to 5% of larger businesses who can easily afford the £5,000, £6,000, £7,000 a month. And actually, it doesn't even matter how accountable they become with these large businesses. So it's an even easier ride for the coach or the consultant because there's less pressure on them to help the business owner perform. Whereas with us, small business owners, the small business market is so important that we do have a coach, and a coach that helps us develop the business, and a coach that can be accountable for results. The challenge that we've got is that these larger consulting and coaching businesses, they've made it impossible to use them, basically because they've priced us out the market and made it so difficult for us to actually have services like that for small business owners. And that's why we've addressed that. And we've brought what I would call world-class and affordable business coaching to the small business sector. We've created something called Core Asset Pro Coaching. And the Core Asset Pro Coaching program completely eradicates those 2 big problems you've got. You get unlimited access to the core asset, so there's no need to become an expert. There's no need for you to spend a massive amount of time and money on these things because they're all done for you, ready to go. And you obviously get 24/7 access and full back office support when you join Pro Coaching. Plus, you get your very own personal world-class business coach who'll spend 45 minutes every single month with you to personally help you build your business and increase your profits. Now let me tell you a little bit about the coach. First of all, they're all part of the International Academy of Business Coaches. For the sake of full disclosure, the International Academy of Business Coaches, or the IAOBC, is part of our organisation. We realised a while ago that the coaching and consultancy industry isn't regulated. It's like the advertising industry. For example, in the advertising industry, how crazy is this? They have awards evenings, and many are very prominent awards. But guess what the winners get awards for? Well, it should be for results, shouldn't it? But no, it's for how good the ads look, how memorable they are. But there's no awards for how successful the campaigns are, or how much money or sales they've generated. Well, that's just crazy, isn't it? And it's no different with the coaching and consulting industry. You can be a coach or a consultant irrespective of the results you bring to a client's business. So we decided to put that right, and we make sure that any IAOBC coach is fully trained and supported by us. They're experienced. They've been there, done it, and got the t-shirt. They have either run their own successful business, built and sold their own business, or have had documented results with businesses they've worked with. Since we train and support them, they also know the core asset, the formula, all the strategies and everything else like the back of their hand. And more importantly, they're in place to keep you on track, keep you highly motivated, keep you inspired, and to ensure that you're accountable to making sure that you actually build the business, you increase its profits, and you actually really enjoy the experience of building it. Now, obviously, the main coaching and consulting businesses, as I've just said, have priced a small business owner out of the market. So we wanted to make sure that we're not going to charge you thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds every single month for a world-class coaching program. And because you've given up your time today, what we're going to do is we're going to give you pro coaching for only £297 a month, as long as you join the pro coaching program today. The normal investment is £797, still great value for money. But as I said, if you join today, you can join for just £297 a month. That's a saving of £500 a month. But this is a one-time only offer. You have to join today to get that price. Otherwise, it goes back to the normal price. So that's £297 a month to have a world-class coaching program to help you build your business quickly and successfully. We can do it at such an affordable price because our coaches take the lion's share of your monthly investment, because we've already invested hundreds of thousands in the core asset and our coaching programs, meaning we don't need to charge much higher fees because our costs, the research and development, and all developer costs, while significant, have already been paid. But it gets better. Let me just explain what we also include. In fact, if you join today, you'll get 5 bonuses worth just over £10,000, genuinely worth over £10,000. Let me just quickly take you through those. Bonus 1 is you get access every single month to what we call the Core Asset Acceleration webinars. Now, these are 1 hour long and they're run by me, and I literally take you through a strategy that's working right now for small businesses. It may be a recap on something that I feel is worth reinforcing, or it could be something else that we're testing and that we've proven. But basically, you're going to absolutely love it. It gives me the ability as well to communicate with all our members, but also it gives you the channel to ask questions and really dig deep into a certain strategy that you can then apply immediately to your business. You'll find these an amazing addition to your coaching program. Bonus 2 is what we call the Scientific Marketing Makeover. This is an absolutely amazing document. It's worth at least £6,000 a year, but worth many, many, many more times to you. And basically, your coach each month will take one of your strategies and run it through the marketing makeover. And although because you've joined this webinar, you're going to get the marketing makeover yourself, the difference with the coaches is obviously for each single strategy that you will supply them, they'll take that strategy and apply the marketing DNA to it, and then give you all the changes, the suggestions, and everything like that. So it's kind of a done-for-you marketing makeover where you literally take their suggestions and then you apply them to your individual strategies to optimize them. And that can result in a 10% increase, a 50% increase, even hundreds and hundreds of percent increase. Now imagine that every single month, improving every single marketing tactic and strategy you apply. It's going to make a massive difference to your business and make a massive difference very quickly. The next bonus, bonus 3, is our monthly Accelerate newsletter. I'm really, really proud of this. I think we're in our 8th year now. I actually dedicate a lot of time to writing quite a lot of the content in here. It's read by thousands and thousands of business owners, and again, you'll find this an amazing read. It's another way of helping us keep you excited, to keep you on track, to keep you motivated, and to make sure you're applying even more stuff to your business in a very simple way. It includes the success formulas for each strategy, and you'll grow to love the newsletter. Our members just devour it, and they absolutely love it each month too. It's delivered to you by proper mail through your letterbox, and each month it's 16 pages of absolute top quality content that you won't find anywhere else. And bonus number 4 is something again that I'm really, really pleased with. It's something that we've spent a lot of time and effort and money on. And it's a software tool that, if you like, enables you to assess the relative quality of your sales and marketing across the formula. So the 5 different areas of the formula. It's kind of like a gap analysis tool. It tells you where you're strong, where you're weak, and everything in between. But the most important thing about it is it takes you 30 minutes to answer a series of yes/no type questions. And after that, it tells you the weak areas for you to work on. So you then work on, with your coach, the weakest areas that can bring you the biggest returns, and so on and so forth. And you'll complete that every 2 or 3 months. And obviously your score and your analysis will keep on improving. But what it does is it shows exactly where we should be working in your business right now. And that's the most important thing. So instead of building to the most important things, the whole purpose of our coaching program, the Pro Coaching Program, is to ensure that you get the best results and the quickest results in the quickest time possible. We don't save the best stuff to last. It's all about giving you the best possible results in the earliest time possible. And our gap analysis tool, we actually call it the Q52, is a great way of enabling us to do that. And this is the first page of the software tool. And as you can see, there's just 4 simple steps. And then finally, the 5th bonus is you're going to get all the system updates, all the new strategies, all the new playbooks, and all the updates, because obviously sales and marketing is constantly evolving and constantly changing, and we're testing so many things. And once we've proven a very strategy or tactic, we'll apply it to the core asset, and you'll obviously get free access to that, as you would all the other strategies and tactics. So that's your 5 bonuses, genuinely worth over £10,000 when you join the Pro Coaching Program today. You get unlimited access to the core asset, no need to become an expert, no need to spend a massive amount of time, effort or cost. You can apply the strategies immediately to your business and then do them at a very high level. You're going to get your very own personal world-class business coach. They're going to spend time with you every single month, and you're going to get 5 bonuses worth over £10,000, and you're going to get all that for just £297 per month. And of course, I don't want you to risk a single penny. So when you join, you get my cast iron, no quibble, 90-day, 100% money back guarantee. Here's how it works. Join today and work with your coach. Go through the core asset, devour it. Remember, you've got 24/7 access. Then, if at the end of the 3rd month and the 90 days you don't believe you're going to get the results that I'm promising, you don't enjoy the experience, or for whatever reason, just let your coach know or send an email to us at head office and tell us that you'd like to cancel, and we'll refund 100% of your fees back. No quibble, no questions asked. That's how much we stand behind our coaching program. That's how much we believe in our coaches. That's how much we believe in our clients being able to apply this stuff seamlessly and effectively into their business. Now let me just take you through a couple of testimonials. Now what I want to say about this, certainly about these first 2 testimonials, is that they've just applied one thing. They've just applied one strategy in the core asset. So this one on the left is from Michael Thickpenny. He runs a sandwich franchise. And he said, I've reiterated to staff the need to upsell using the scripts. And this month we've been up 3 times on like-for-like sales versus last year. Amazing, thank you. The coaching program is even better than I could have imagined. Now, so all Michael's done is taken the upsell and cross-sell in the core asset and he's applied them to his business. And all he did was get his staff to say those particular upsells and cross-sells depending on the products that his customers were buying. And it tripled his sales. Tripled. That's exactly the same football. He did nothing to increase his footfall. That's just basically a way to generate more income and profit from existing customers using upsell and cross-sell. And then if we look at the right here with Gary. Gary runs a couple of children's nurseries over in the Isle of Man, of all places, just off the west coast of England. And he says, we created a referral program using the referral system and examples in the core asset. We spent just £2,300, and in the first 3 months it generated £154,000 in extra sales. That's £154,000 for a spend of just £2,300. Who wouldn't want that? I mean, even if you spent £1,000 and it generated you just £5,000, I'm sure that would be something that you'd want, because that's going to keep working and working and working. And look at that. That's just the first 3 months. Gary's implemented that, and it keeps working now, month after month after month. Next one then, this is from Shafiq, and Shafiq runs an accountancy firm, and he says the coaching program has been excellent. Adopting simple but extremely effective strategies has helped me look at my business in an entirely different way. In 6 months I have more than doubled my annual fees, increased the number of clients and the profit from each client. So Shafiq's actually doubled the size of his accountancy practice in just 6 short months. And then finally, we've got Shelley here. Shelley is a podiatrist, and she says, as you know, I launched the business by sending leaflets to as many people in nursing homes as I could. After the marketing makeover, the results transformed, gave me the start I needed, and the business has just gone from strength to strength ever since. Thank you. So she'd already started the business before she joined us, and she used leaflets to grow the business as the primary marketing strategy that she was using. And then she put the leaflet through the marketing makeover. The coach ran through it, provided the improvements, she applied the improvements, and it's literally transformed her business. And that's what can happen when you know what you're doing and when you work to a program that's fully proven and supported by a world-class coach. Okay, so when you join Pro Coaching, what happens? Well, first we'll send you a welcome email and login details to get you started within the core asset itself. Your coach will then call you to arrange an introductions meeting. And the introductions meeting is basically 45 minutes long. They'll take you through the core asset, they'll make sure you understand where everything is so you get a really good understanding of the core asset, and make sure that you get the best results as quickly as possible. And then every single month you'll work with your coach for 45 minutes. Listen, don't underestimate how valuable those 45 minutes are, particularly when my coaches have got agendas to work to and everything is streamlined. Those 45 minutes are like 4 hours work, so you'll get an enormous amount of value out of the monthly coaching meetings, because unlike virtually every other coach or consultant on the planet, my guys have a set system to work through. So you have a system to apply, which is the core asset, and our coaches have a coaching system as well. And we know that when they combine them together, that they deliver massive results. You get 24/7 access to the core asset, you get the monthly webinar with me, you get the Accelerate newsletter, and you get the monthly marketing makeover, plus full back office support from your coach, from me and my team here. And you get all that not for the normal price of $797, you get it today for just £297 a month. Now that's the Pro Coaching Program. That suits most people. However, I do appreciate that some people are more ambitious and want to move faster. So we've got another program which is virtually identical to Pro. We call it Core Asset Elite Coaching. You get everything that I've just talked about. However, you get 2 hours a month with your coach, which means you move much faster. Elite normally sells for £1,297 a month, but because you're on this webinar today, I can give you that for just £697 a month, a saving of £600 a month. So you've got 2 world-class coaching programs to choose from. You've got Pro and you've got Elite. And Elite is our premium coaching program, which enables you to move faster. Now let's just do a few final questions before we wrap things up. Yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, Wayne asks, if I join the coaching program, can I cancel at any time? Well, that's a really good question, Wayne. I probably should have mentioned that earlier, actually. Look, as you've already seen, we really do practice what we preach. We don't tell you guys to do one thing and then we do another. It's one of the things that our clients and members really, really love about us. They can see that we're just so passionate about helping them, and they see us using the exact same tactics and strategies that we recommend they use. So things like the guarantee and the fact that we actually don't tie you into any contract at all hopefully demonstrates to you that I completely stand behind the coaching program. What happens is you can cancel at any time up to the first 90 days, and as I've said, that's our guarantee. But then after that, you can cancel at any time. We don't tie you into any contracts or anything like that. Now, obviously, we do have people who drop out of the program. You wouldn't believe me if I said that wasn't the case. But we do have one of the lowest dropout rates in the coaching industry, which further demonstrates just how good the coaching program is, just how good the coaches are, and just how good our clients are, to be honest. Because frankly, we only work with ambitious, highly motivated business owners. And you know, if it wasn't for you guys being that motivated, then clearly, no matter how great our program is, nothing would be achieved because you just wouldn't have the determination and the inclination to apply this stuff. Okay, we're just about out of time, so let's do one last question. Yeah, this is a good one to finish on. It's from Moeen. I think that's how you pronounce it. And he asks, if I'm on the coaching program, how long will it take to see results? Well, the simple answer is it's down to you how quickly you see results. But joking apart, the sooner you implement, the sooner you'll get results. There are many things you can apply. In fact, there are many things you can do, some of which we've covered today, that will have an instant effect on your business. And we've made it really easy for you with the playbooks, the templates, the examples, and the support of a world-class coach. However, I can lead you to water, but I can't make you drink. So no matter how good our program is, as I've said, you have to have the appetite and the ambition to implement. If you're serious and you go for it, you'll see results really quickly. But you have to apply the effort. Obviously, you'll move faster with the elite coaching program, but irrespective of which program you choose, you still have to implement to see results. Okay, let's wrap this up then. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you got a lot out of it. And remember to get the special offer prices for elite and for pro and the 5 bonuses you need to join today. I'll repeat, this is a one-time only offer. All you need to do to join is simply click on the button below this webinar and you can get started straight away. Thanks again to you all. I wish you all the success.